Welcome back to my channel. My name is Afolake. On today's vlog, I'll be talking about all that you need to know about mortgage in Canada and how you can approach the banks or other financial institutions to get what you require. Everything that you need to do. I'm going to spill it here. So if this is interesting to you, keep watching. A few things that you need to take note of before you even decide to go look for a mortgage is for you to start saving. That's the first thing I will talk about here. Save up for your mortgage. So for instance, you're looking at buying a house 1 year down the line or 2 years down the line. It's important for you to save up. What you are entitled to is a minimum of 5% of down payment, and you can also pay up to 20% or even more, whatever you have, to be able to reduce that recurrent monthly mortgage fee or payment. So just save up, and that's what is the first and most important thing. So if you don't have money, don't even think mortgage. While you're saving up, what is also paramount or important is that in Canada it's a credit society, and for you to also build credit, you have to use your credit card. I know so many people have really frowned at using their credit card because we were not used to it. We spend what we have, but here in Canada they have taught us how to go into debt and pay back. But that just shows how creditworthy you are to be able to pay back whatever you have used from your credit card or whatever loan that you have taken from the bank. So begin to build credit, and how you build credit is use your credit card. Whatever bank that you have opened accounts with will offer you a credit card. Please take it, but don't take too much of it or too many of those cards because it can run you faster into debt. So just take one or two cards, which is credit card, and use them simultaneously. Ensure that you understand the cycle of the payment so you know when to pay back. There's always a cut-off time where they expect the money that you have spent from your credit card to be paid back. If you have that deadline, ensure that you pay days before. So don't pay on that particular day. Pay a few days and understand the working week as well while you're considering when to move this money back to your credit card. As you begin to use your credit card for grocery, to pay your bills, to do some other expenses, and you're paying back, you're slowly building credit, and it shows your credit worthiness when you approach the bank for a mortgage. For many that also have an idea of when they want to buy homes, they look forward to the kind of jobs that they want to get when they come to Canada. And from previous videos and from what you also know, that here in Canada, there are different kinds of job contracts. So you can be a permanent full-time, or you can even be a permanent part-time. You can be on a contract, you can be on a casual basis. Different cycle works for different people or different organizations, and they can hire you for the time being and move you into the regular full-time or permanent basis. But for mortgage, you need to be on a permanent full-time to be able to approach the bank, especially when you have worked with the organization for about 3 to 6 months. You can approach the bank for a mortgage when you have your down payments. You know, I started with the down payment. That is the first thing. You must have that money already saved up. But if you don't have a regular full-time job, they call it full-time permanent. It can also be termed regular permanent job. So if you don't have that kind of work contract and you have a temporary, it could be full-time, but you're there on a temporary basis for maybe a 1-year term or an 18-month term or a 24-month term, but you're full-time, meaning that you can still enjoy some of the benefits within the organization. Now you need a 24 months work experience that shows that you have been employed and you're earning and you're expending income and all of that. So all this just shows your length of time, especially if you are new to Canada. You need to build that. You're building history, you're building credit, you're building everything. So this is where we are in Canada. So if you're on a temporary basis, just know that you have to wait for that long before you can approach the bank. You have to have that continuous 24 months work on a temporary basis. Coming in as a full-time permanent, your benefits commences immediately you join the organization. But if you come into Canada, you have your money from your country, you move here and you want to buy a house, by all means you can approach the bank And the bank will oblige you, going through your earnings from your country, understanding what capacity you have to be able to pay back, and they do all their maths and minuses, whatever, and you can obviously be able to buy a house as you land. But many that also think that if you have 5% down payment, it might not be enough. It's okay to start with 5%. And if your household income, that's your spouse and yourself, your income is not exceeding $120,000 per annum, you can have the support of the government to also match up with another 5% to make it 10% down payment for you. So that makes it easy on you when you're also spreading out your mortgage payments monthly or bi-weekly, and it helps you to be able to pay up faster. But know that there's no free lunch in Canada. Government does not give anybody money. So that money that is given to you by the government just shows that there's co-ownership between you and the government on your property. And when you decide to sell that property, you're going to be refunding that 5% back to the government, although it is interest free. And if you're having 5% down payments, you need to pay a mortgage insurance to secure the other portion of the mortgage loan, because you don't have all the money. But if you put down 20%, you don't need to secure that, and the bank won't be charging you any mortgage insurance cost on your down payment. The bank also offers you critical illness, disability, loss of job coverage, life insurance coverage. You need this for your mortgage application. So you need to have this in place. And if you don't, the bank will be offering that to you. Although I will not encourage you to take it from the bank because it's expensive. Your premium will be expensive monthly, however you paid. But if you approach those independent insurance companies, you will be getting a cheaper one. It also depends on how old you are, because age also determines what premium you pay. But it's important for you to understand that you can always get it cheaper from other providers. So do well to make your research and ask questions. When the bank gives you all of these, search things out yourself so you know which or what options are available and which of those options you are going in for. You also want to save money, because at the end of the day, all of this accumulates into what you will be paying monthly. And if you have so much to pay monthly, I rest my case. So all of these things are just preambles to the things that you need insight into before you make that first step. But first step from the very beginning I mentioned is that save up. So haven't saved up, then you need to start looking for a house. You need to start searching. And there are houses that are newly built. There are houses that are sold, well, built over many years ago. There are recently built homes. Whichever house or kind of property that you decide to go with, you always find available. You want to buy a condo, an apartment, a duplex, a terrace apartment, bi-level, all of these are available for you here in Canada. So your money makes the decision. Whatever you have or whatever you can afford, please, that's what you should go for. Don't look at your neighbor and say, my neighbor is living in a duplex, I want to buy a duplex. In fact, the bank is already a check. They'll look at your income and advise you on the maximum amount that the bank can borrow you for your mortgage. So haven't had that, you will calm down and you won't be able to approach or even go and point and kill one house that you cannot afford. You also need to be wise, understand your income and your expense. That's why you must have a budget. You must have a track of how you expend money and what you have saved up. That will also help you to eventually decide what value of mortgage that you're looking out for. I'm also going to put a link to one mortgage calendar or calculator whereby you can use to have a fair idea of the rates. So you can punch in the numbers. If you want to buy a house of 500,000 and you have 5% payments, what would you be paying as premium at the end of the month? And this is just a rough estimate, so and if you have 20%, then you know that your insurance, mortgage insurance, is already taken care of. You don't need to pay that. So all of this will give you an insight into how to understand what this rate are, but it's just a fair calculation. It's not an exact one, but it's good to have an idea. So now that you're ready to start shopping for a house, you need a realtor to help you look better on the listings that have been posted in your province, in your city. You can do it yourself. You don't have to use a realtor, but sometimes you need the guidance of those that are professionals in this field to assist you in making a better choice. So it's not just getting the house. You can decide to move around houses. You see some buildings, they have those signs in front of their houses and say up for sale. You can call, you can do that directly by yourself, but you also need the experience of a realtor, because they also have little things that they will draw your attention to that you won't know because you are not one, and you don't want to miss. This is a big investment on your part. You don't want to mess it up by just being smart and saying, I don't want a realtor. They will get their commission from the bank. So whether you use a realtor or not, it's up to you, but it's better for you. You still get your mortgage value from the bank, and you would have gotten good advice. But please, realtors are also different from realtors. You can shop around, ask questions from those that have purchased home, what their experience has been with their realtor, and that will help you decide which to go for eventually. Watch out for my next video as I conclude sharing how to purchase a house here in Canada. See you then. Bye, guys.